Hey you guys! So for those of you who are stumbling across this video somewhere on the internet and are not familiar with who I am, my name is Nicole Murphy and I am the founder of Trigger Happy. I started Trigger Happy as a way to take all of my email marketing expertise from the corporate world and help other small business owners learn how to incorporate it into their own business as a way to grow their business and build really strong relationships with their clients. And today I have something really cool to share with you. So earlier this week, I was lucky enough to score a free 30-minute consultation call with Emily Thompson. And so for those of you who are like, who the heck is Emily Thompson? She's one of the co-hosts of the Being Boss podcast. And if you've never heard of the Being Boss podcast, I highly suggest you go check it out. It's targeted at creative entrepreneurs, but it's totally, it's a great podcast for any entrepreneur, in my opinion, or anybody just trying to start their own business. And yeah, they kind of just teach you how to run your business like a boss, but also how to kind of be a boss in just your everyday life as well. So I started listening to it about 3 or 4 months ago on my commute to and from my day job, and I fell in love. I flew through the episodes. Luckily, I found out about it a year after they started, so I had a whole bunch of episodes to work through. But yeah, I fell in love with it. And so Emily on the podcast, she talked about how she does this thing that she calls 3 and 30. And what that is once a month, she'll send an email to her entire list and say, like, the first 3 people to click on this link and book 30 minutes my calendar, get a free 30-minute consultation call with me. And so I heard her talk about this when I first started listening to the podcast, and I thought it was an amazing idea and dreamt to be one of those 3 people one day. And so there I am every single month clicking on that freaking email as soon as I get it. And I never was lucky enough to get a spot until this month. So this month, I guess I was just on my game and I clicked the link and was lucky enough to book a spot with her. So kind of funny because I'm actually speaking at the Being Boss event in Toronto in a couple weeks on October 1st. So I got the spot and I'm like, man, I'm meeting her in a couple weeks. I could totally take half an hour of her time then and ask her these questions. But I was also super stoked about the fact that I finally got through, so I'm like, no, this is my time, I'm gonna take it. So anyways, yeah, so I had that call with Emily a couple days ago, and it was really, really, really helpful. Basically what she does is she asks you to send her 3 questions before the call and a quick bio about yourself, and you kind of just power through them in the 30 minutes that you have together. So I sent her 3 questions, we went through them, and what I wanted to do was just kind of share her advice with all of you guys. I know that I found it super helpful, and I'm sure that there are some of you out there that probably have the same questions that I have or similar. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. So first things first, I will let you know the first question I asked her. So the first thing I asked her was, I asked her how to best prioritize my time that I can spend on my side business, Trigger Happy, to make sure that I'm tackling the most powerful items first. So kind of some background to this question that I asked is, so I work full-time as an email marketer for FreshBooks. And I also live an hour away from my office. So I've got pretty much about 2 hours of every day dedicated just to driving. And then I'm there for about 9 hours a day working. So I really only have about a couple hours a night to work on my own stuff, as well as sometime on the weekend as well. And I just felt like when I would come home from work and be like, okay, I've got 2 hours to bang some stuff out, I felt like there was so much I needed to do, and I had no idea where to start first. Like, do I work on blog posts? Do I record videos? Do I schedule my tweets and my Instagram posts and stuff like that for the rest of the week? Do I spend time engaging in some Facebook groups and try to help some other people and get my name out there that way? Do I mess around on my website and build new website pages, or work on a sales page, or work on my e-course? Like, there's so much I want to do, and I just wanted to make sure that I was using my time wisely. So that was my first question, like how to prioritize the stuff that I'm doing when I have the time to make sure that I'm working on the most productive things. or effective things. And her advice to me was to automate whatever I can. So I love that, because in my day job, we try to do that too. So we automate a lot of our email communications and stuff like that. So she asked me if there were things I could automate. Like, could I sit down one Sunday evening and schedule all my Instagram and my Facebook posts and my tweets for the whole week, and then just let it kind of run while I'm at my work, while I'm driving home, and not have to worry about it. So that was one really, really good tip she had. I'm definitely gonna take her up on that tip. And then another one, she was like, find out when you are most productive when it comes to writing or when it comes to recording videos, and just bang out like 4 of them at once. So if it's a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon or something like that, get those done, edit them, and then there's 4 weeks worth of video content. If you're just going to post 1 video a week, that's done. And another really good tip she had was to, when it comes to engaging on Facebook, that's something I love to do. I love to kind of offer my help wherever I can. I'm very active in quite a few Facebook groups targeted towards entrepreneurs. And her advice to me there was just like, take 15 minutes a night. 15 minutes a night to comment on some stuff, to kind of reach out and ask other people questions and so on and so forth. That's really, really all it takes. And I think she's right. I think that'll go a long way. So that's definitely something that I'm gonna try as well. So yeah, I think those are her 3 ideas, is just to kind of find what things that you can batch together and then automate and have them release on an automated schedule. Her other thing too was to just put my energy where my passion is. So I love to record videos like this. I'm not a big fan of sitting down and writing blog posts. They just take me so much longer than spitting out all this information on a video. So that was some really good advice as well. If I can just take my energy and put it into a video versus getting frustrated trying to write a blog post and all that nonsense, then do that. So yeah, so that was that first question I asked her. The second question I asked was, what was this? Oh yes, I'm working on an e-course called DIY Email Marketing for Entrepreneurs. And because I just started my business literally 3 months ago or 4 months ago when I started listening to the Being Boss podcast, I don't have a huge list yet. I don't have a huge social media following. Like, that takes a lot of work and that takes time. That stuff doesn't happen overnight. Well, I guess getting really good quality followers and subscribers doesn't happen overnight. So I asked her for some ideas on like, how can I get my course out there in front of the people that need it most? Because typically what people do when they launch their e-course or something similar, is they blast it out on their social media pages, they share it with their list, they do that sort of thing. And since I don't really have that right now, I was asking her for some tips on other ways to promote my e-course. And she basically told me to think of my basically focus on growing my list and growing that following, and they'll find my e-course. That was kind of how I interpreted her advice. She said that an email list, and I know this as well from just my day-to-day work, is going to be your most powerful tool for selling your products. So do whatever I can to build that up. So whether that's giving my e-course away for free at first, build up and get a bunch of people on my email list, and then I can use them in the future and create products for them in the future as well. And yeah, so maybe it's sharing content like this around on the internet to get people to come and check out my stuff. So that was kind of her advice there. Is she's like, you'll be launching your e-course for a whole year. There's gonna be so much stuff that you learn. Just launch it, learn something, launch it again, so on and so forth. But she said ultimately the main thing to focus on is growing your email list, which I loved. Obviously that was super, super great advice for me. So yes, so that was answer to number 2. And then the final question I asked her was, so since I've gotten started in creating some content and putting it out there for the world to see, I've noticed that I was getting 2 kinds of followers, or my audience was kind of split down the middle. It was either people who have never done any email marketing for their business ever. They're interested in it, they want to learn more, but they haven't even taken that first step of like choosing email marketing software, or like sending that first email, or building a list. So that was kind of the one group of people I found were following me and asking me questions and reading my content and stuff like that. And then the other is people who are a little bit further along, who've been sending out emails, who've been doing email marketing for a while, have a relatively large list, and just wanted to learn about how to kind of optimize their email marketing and improve it. So as you can imagine, those people are in two very different spots in their email marketing journey, let's call it. And so I was kind of struggling with like, okay, well, do I create content for these folks who really just want to know the basics and really just want help getting started, or do I take the knowledge that I have from my work, which is a lot of optimization of emails and improving engagement and all that good stuff, and do I take that and package it for these other people? And she basically told me to kind of, because I'm starting out, just kind of put it all out there and just listen to my audience, like see what people are engaging with most. And she said, eventually, once you put enough stuff out in the world, you'll start to see like what people are engaging with and who your audience really is. Another thing she told me to do is start to host some webinars where I'm sharing this type of content. And she said it's a really, really great way to ask your audience questions and find out what their pain points are, and really have that like live conversation with them. And survey your customers, survey the folks on your list, and find out what's like really, really troubling them. And I found that pretty interesting because so for those of you who have signed up for my newsletter, you'll notice that in the welcome email that you get as soon as you sign up, I ask you all one question. Of course, I say thank you and for signing up for my newsletter and all that good stuff. But at the very end, I say, I just want to ask you guys one question. If you could click on one of the following links, that would help me identify you as someone in part of my audience, and get a better understanding of where you are in your email marketing journey. And so the three options are you're an entrepreneur and you've never done email marketing, but you're interested in getting started. The second one is that you're an entrepreneur, you've started to build a list, you've got a list, but you haven't actually done any email marketing yet. And then option number 3 was, I'm an entrepreneur who's been doing email marketing with my business for a while, but I want to learn how to get better at it. And believe it or not, for my audience anyways, 90% of them click number 1. So had never started anything, or have never started email marketing at all. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And so it was kind of cool that she, I was already doing that in my welcome email, but it was kind of cool that she followed it up with that piece of advice to just keep asking those questions and keep probing to find out what it is that they want, because ultimately, like, that's going to help me shape my products and be able to create things that are actually going to be very impactful for my following. So that's it. So that was her answer to the third question. And yeah, I thought it was really, really, really helpful. Something that I'm going to consider doing in my own business. I would love to, what is that, an hour and a half a month? I would love to take an hour and a half a month and help 3 different people, whether it's just giving them feedback on emails that they have, or helping them make a decision on what platform to go to, or, anything to do with email marketing. I'd love to help anybody. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Definitely something that I'm thinking of implementing in my business as well. So that's it for today. If you guys are interested in signing up for my newsletter to get some of my content that I send out, you can do so by going to my website at www.gettriggerhappy.com. And if you scroll to the bottom of the first page, there's a newsletter sign up form at the very bottom. So I encourage you to do that. Also, keep an eye out if you are an entrepreneur looking to start email marketing and kind of have no idea where to start. Keep an eye out for an e-course that I'm working on. It's called DIY Email Marketing for Entrepreneurs, and I'm essentially going to help you make that first really tough decision of picking which email marketing software is right for your business. There are so many out there, and I really just want to kind of declutter all of that information that's on the internet and help you ask yourself some really, really important questions that will just kind of scream the answer out at you in the end. And hopefully that gets you over that first intimidating bump of incorporating email marketing into your business. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys all have a lovely Wednesday evening, and I'll see you later.